Good morning, everyone. I'm Brian Newby, Vice Chairman of the Visit Fort Worth Board of Directors. As an Air Force veteran, I know that in a crisis, sometimes you're called upon to take great responsibility. That is what happened for Nicole Edgett here at the Omni Hotel. Nicole is Assistant Director of Convention Services, but when the hotel closed last year, headquarters called her up for research and to co-author the safe and clean policies for the entire Omni company. She came back to Fort Worth to help reopen the hotel. Nicole was also in the trenches, helping screen for wellness, greeting guests, and countless other tasks. This is the kind of dedication that sets Fort Worth apart. Thank you for all your hard work, Nicole.
Thank you, Brian. I am just one of the many people in our industry who have taken on new roles to help reopen and rebuild for the future. Speaking of the future, today I have the honor to introduce someone who has a vision for the way forward. He's been in the trenches with us. He spent 36 years in hotel leadership positions, including 28 at the Worthington here in Sundance Square. Please welcome the President and CEO of Visit Fort Worth, Bob Jameson.
You know, in my 36 years in this community, I have been provided with many blessings, many gifts. One that I value and treasure greatly happened the day that Miss Opal Lee appeared in my office and started telling me of the work that she has been doing and enlisted my support, which I was thrilled to give on behalf of Visit Fort Worth to so many of the causes, to include their Juneteenth celebration. Miss Lee has got a remarkable story. It is an absolute honor for our organization to call out the work that you've done for this community and what it means for us all. Thank you so very much. And for Mitch Whitten, who put me on the agenda following Miss Lee. Thank you very much. You know, I am a longtime hotelier. Before I got the pleasure, the honor to do the work that I have been doing for the last 8 years, but it has been a while. You know, I hate to destroy this perception you might have that I actually did run down from my office to join you this morning because the Zoom didn't work, but I was actually on the outside of this room, surrounded by, you know, Tim Love's team and the banquet team that have all been preparing this morning for you, getting us started off with a good meal and a little beverage to enjoy. The energy back there of people in the hospitality industry at work was palpable and such, you know, and so missed over all of these years. It is a real pleasure to welcome you all this morning, welcome you all that can be here, and to welcome the 300 people that are online and getting to hear the stories that have been shared thus far and will continue to be shared. Visit Fort Worth is an organization that convenes people. That's what we're about. That's what we're here to facilitate. This has not been a convening period of time in the world, much less here in our city. But we are thrilled to be able to bring you together virtually and in person, and provide you, our community, with an update on the visitor economy. So critical to local business, jobs, and our quality of life. And we wanted to provide you with an experience reimagined for health and safety. To our incredible sponsors, thank you. Pinnacle Bank, Ronnie Korb, hats off to you for 6 years as our presenting sponsor. And to Tri-Hawk Thank you for the years that you have helped make us look so good. To all our sponsors, thank you for your support of tourism and of our community. To our City Council, thank you for your consistent support for our organization and the greater mission of the local hospitality industry. And to our Board of Directors, thank you for your tremendous guidance through the pandemic and into our recovery. Now, because of our sponsors' generosity, we are able to donate $10,000 to the Creative Industry Relief Fund. We established last year with the United Way to provide grants to musicians, filmmakers, artists, and other creatives currently out of work. Thank you, United Way CEO Leah King, for being here today. Not to leave you out of the opportunity, you can make your own donation at unitedway.com. I would suggest you go to the Juneteenth website first, and immediately while you're online, go to unitedway.com to follow. And if you are at all taken with the t-shirts that you see our staff wearing, you can buy one through the link that is on your screen in our printed thread store. Proceeds will also go to the United Way. This morning, I want to update you on our progress and share our vision for the visitor economy. You've already heard some statistics. Tourism is big business in Fort Worth. Before the coronavirus, hospitality generated $2.6 billion in economic impact and employed more than 24,000 Fort Worthians. That certainly makes tourism one of Fort Worth's largest employers. We all know that COVID hit tourism hard. You've heard Sean describe it for you from the airport's perspective, and we certainly experienced it here in our own awareness of what's happening in the community. Nationally, it's estimated that half of all tourism jobs have been lost and are slowly being reclaimed, but slowly. It's the front desk clerk, the restaurant server, the tour guide, but it's also the florist that makes arrangements for events, and the barber who takes in visitor walk-ins. The ripple effect of job loss is significant. We joined Mayor Price in launching a campaign you never expected to see from a tourism organization, "Y'all stay home." But it was quickly followed by "Y'all wear a mask." We published the most comprehensive list of Fort Worth restaurants offering takeout and delivery at a time when that was the only way food service could be experienced. And when hotels and attractions reopened and Texans started to take road trips, more than 300 local businesses signed up for our campaign, Reopen Responsibly. The recovery is slow, but it is underway. Visitors coming for the weekend are a big part of that recovery. They've come for our museums, more than 300 patio restaurants, the Botanic Gardens, the #1 zoo in the nation, and the open air of the stockyards and the new Mule Alley, soon to be joined by the Hotel Drover. As Sean mentioned, with all this development, Fort Worth has been named one of the top 50 destinations this year by Travel and Leisure magazine, our first time on a national list of this kind. This has been a major effort by our public relations team, but it is a reflection of your investment in our community. Speaking of investment, let me say a word about the Fort Worth Herd. This is a renowned attraction that takes place twice a day, every day. We navigated the pandemic because of the dedication of the Friends of the Fort Worth Herd. Pam Minnick, you and your volunteer leaders gave countless hours giving us guidance and hands-on support. Many of you in this room give your time to different causes. The time that this board gives drives not only cattle, but business to our city. Thank you very much, Pam. Also important to Fort Worth, sports events. They have become powerful engines for our visitor economy and no signs of slowing. Fort Worth led the early recovery last summer. The Charles Schwab Challenge at Colonial in June. Races at Texas Motor Speedway that same month. We've had professional bull riding at Dickies Arena, and of course, in December, we had the National Finals Rodeo. This winter and spring, just about every weekend is filled with sports events of all sizes that will draw visitors and media coverage. From AAC basketball at Dickies Arena to equestrian competitions at Will Rogers. The 8 largest events alone will generate more than $80 million in economic impact. That's direct support for local restaurants, retail, and other businesses. But you've already seen some of the faces on the screen of the people that are impacted by having work to do. You're taking people out of food lines and putting them back on the payroll. In June, Will Rogers and Dickies will host the Super Bowl of bass fishing, the Bassmaster Classic. Those events will be covered nationally, bringing huge exposure to our city. And on top of that, on that very same weekend, Texas Motor Speedway has secured the NASCAR All-Star Race, the first time that this has taken place outside of Charlotte in 35 years. When it comes to conventions, Kenneth Copeland Ministries held a gathering last summer. Thanks to Kurt Kellstrom and his work and partnership with the City of Fort Worth in ensuring that his planning for that conference and the understanding that safe protocols needed to be in place, they were able to hold that event, and in his contact with attendees afterwards to find no exposure, no incidents of the coronavirus that followed their gathering. That was an example, yet another example, of how meetings can be conducted in a way that is done safely in consideration of people's well-being. Let me assure you that many other meetings and conventions are ready to resume as soon as they can. But today is really about the way forward. As another hospitality leader has said, we should not just bring back tourism. We have to be better. So here are some of the top priorities for Visit Fort Worth, and you can read the complete list on the website for today's event. When business travel resumes, let's bring more meetings to the city that support our growth industries like mobility, logistics, aviation, and medicine. Now is the time to work with you to invite the world here to see the amazing innovation that is taking place. Let's be ready when conventions resume. We are already benefiting from Mayor Price's Economic Development Task Force, Fort Worth Now, and the connections they are helping us make. Dean Bobby Adier at the Texas A&M School of Law, thank you for your vision to create a downtown campus that convenes people on the biggest topics of the day. To be successful in this endeavor, we need an even stronger partnership with our Chamber of Commerce. And today, I am proud to announce that Chamber CEO Brandon Gengelbach and I have just signed a memorandum of understanding between our organizations. We will share marketing expertise and research and collaborate to grow sports tourism and to identify strategically important conventions that align with our city's strengths. We look forward to that growing partnership. Fort Worth needs to provide better access to sports and exercise for our young people. We are exporting millions of dollars to other cities when we drive 50 miles to the east for tournaments. Our Fort Worth Sports Commission is working with the city and other partners to create a 100-acre youth sports complex for soccer, lacrosse, and other outdoor sports. Upon opening, there are some parents who have made that drive. This would realize an immediate impact of $16 million in direct spending each year upon its opening. More importantly, when our young people have access to sports, all our young people, when they have access to sports, they are more likely to find personal and academic success. We must also support creativity. Visit Fort Worth sees music as a critical part of our visitor economy. Today, along with Here Fort Worth, we are releasing the first ever economic impact study of our local music ecosystem by London-based Sound Diplomacy. You can take a look at the study on our website. We need your help taking action on that plan. Also, speaking of creativity, the Fort Worth Film Commission is celebrating not only its 5th anniversary, but also 2 outstanding features that filmed here. 12 Mighty Orphans, just acquired by Sony Pictures Classics, and Miss Juneteenth, which has won or been nominated for 14 national awards. And finally, we are going to double down on community-based tourism. The hospitality industry can benefit the entire community, when we need to share the entire story. In February of 2020, we launched Discover Fort Worth to engage with more of our community and to promote an even bigger story for our visitors. This collaboration with the Fort Worth Metropolitan Black Chamber of Commerce and the Fort Worth Hispanic Chamber of Commerce has become one of the most visited sections of our website. Discover Diverse Fort Worth lists Black-owned businesses, shares video by and about the community. We are a proud sponsor of Tony Green's features on NBC5. So this is our vision: places to convene and to compete, people who create and inspire. Miss Lee, lots of creativity going on there and boatloads of inspiration. And community-based tourism that shares the whole story of our city for the benefit of all. The visitor economy is simple and straightforward. Bring people to Fort Worth who spend money with your business, and then they leave. And they tell their friends how great our city is and how much they need to get back to Fort Worth. Thank you very much.